Microphones are probably my favorite thing to review. They're always so different, and I'm always on the lookout for the best prices for the best product. I've covered wireless microphones before, but right here we have a complete bundle that looks pretty promising. So before we get into reviewing the Uhuru WM720, let's go ahead and unbox it and check it out. Within the box, you get a case. You don't see many brands doing this, but I really appreciate having somewhere to store all the equipment. It's actually pretty nice and sleek looking. The material feels pretty good and sturdy, and inside you can see everything divided between the case. Props for the quality of life packaging. Taking a slight look into the hardware, we get an interesting looking receiver, a pretty standard looking transmitter, and something that I've never seen in a microphone combo. A little phone tripod with a hot shoe mount for the receiver. On the messier side, a standard TRRS adapter for your phone, a 3.5mm to 2.5mm jack adapter, your casual headset mic, a TRS cable for your camera, a cute and mini mic, the double charging micro USB cable, and finally a lav mic because two mics were not enough. This is an interesting, albeit standard wireless lavalier combo. So let's take a deeper dive into it. Not only do you get 3 different case scenario microphones, if you take the windscreen off, you can see that they are actually different and not a rehashed version of the same mic. You need to choose each mic that you need for any given situation, but we'll get onto the audio test later. The transmitter and receiver are somewhat appealing to me. For the budget price point, I really like how the transmitter looks. It's easy to turn on, has a decent sized screen for all your needs. The antenna isn't in the way of anything. All the ports are very accessible and you get a belt clip. Overall design and simplicity are quite spot on. The receiver, on the other hand, it just looks quite awkward and bulky. It does have a 3.5mm jack and a lanky antenna, but at least they include a cable to charge them both at the same time. Setting it up is fairly easy. Choose what mic you're going to use. In this case, it's what I'd assume is a handheld mic. Choose what device you're going to use. Remember that if you're going to use your phone, you'll need to use a TRRS cable, and for your camera, you need a TRS cable. Turn on both the receiver and obviously the transmitter fairly close to each other. And now you can start recording on whatever device you chose. I'll be using my camera to record the audio just for simplicity. Throughout this whole video, we've been using the Rode Video Micro on top of my camera. So let's swap to one of the microphones, test out what the audio quality is, and see what the best use scenario for it would be. This is what the handheld mic sounds like without editing in post. It's important to hear that beforehand, and then we can go and edit it. This is what the handheld mic would sound approximately 4 to 5 inches away from my face with some type of editing in post. Now this mic seems to be an on-field mic. So if you're doing any type of interviews, you can just hold the mic to the other person. And while they talk, hopefully you won't be heard as much. So moving from person to person, it's easier to get that audio sample from the voice of the other person. Peter Pickle Pizza, Peter Pickle Pizza. Peter Pickle Pizza, Peter Pickle Pizza. Peter Pickle Pizza, Peter Pickle Pizza. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It's an interesting microphone. The looks and aesthetics are pretty decent. Other than that, what do you think the audio quality sounds like? Now, the lavalier mic. This is a very important microphone for people that need to move around while making a video. You can also give this to another person to interview them or just to capture the audio from the other side. Many creators enjoy using a lavalier because of the freedom that it gives you. You can just basically move around without a worry about the cables or about bumping into anything with the microphone. It's just a very useful tool. Peter Pickle Pasta, Peter Pickle Pasta. Wherever you place the microphone is also very important for the audio quality. I usually put it beneath my collarbone, somewhere around my shirt. You can also hide it beneath your shirt, but I found that the rustling between the t-shirt and the microphone is just too annoying and I've never found a good way to get rid of it. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And finally, the headset mic. This is a microphone that you will use if you're doing a presentation of some sort, or if you're walking around and you need both the use of your hands and you want the microphone still in a set space. You'll see this microphone being used with announcements or any type of on-stage presentation. Now, personally, I don't really like this microphone. Just having something on top of my head and the microphone being over here, I don't find the appeal to it. Peter pickle pasta, Peter pickle pasta. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It is important to note that it's one of the most versatile microphones because with the gooseneck, you can move it along and find the ideal position for the microphone. I find that mine is around 2 inches away from my face. So, what are my thoughts on the audio quality and the best case scenario? Honestly, I'm really surprised. Going into this video and my experience with other wireless kits, I was leaning more towards a pessimistic outlook, but the audio quality is surprisingly decent, especially on the mini field mic. I really enjoyed this and it caught my eye. Maybe it's because I've never used something like this before. The background noise reduction and quality is very good. Even though you do need to find that sweet spot for the best use, I think this alone makes the kit worth the $60. The lav mic as well was surprising. Generally with this kits or combos, you get a few below average sounding mics for an all around below average sounding kit. But with this kit specifically, I found that they give you some very decent gear and it will improve the quality of any type of audio production you're doing. My thoughts on headset mics remain unwavering. I'm just not a fan of them. Maybe I just haven't used them enough to find the correct spot for the audio quality, or maybe I just don't like having something on my head while I'm recording. Either way, I don't enjoy it. Still, I can't say it's not good. It's very decent. But what are your thoughts? Do you think you can include this in your recording gear? Or would you just scratch wireless audio altogether and use something like an onboard microphone or a dynamic or studio mic? Let me know. I am done with microphones. So if you got to the end of the video, let me know in the comments down below by just typing done. Remember that a like and a sub go a long way. I hope I'll see you next time.